Hey friends, welcome back to the Grace-Filled Leader podcast. Today's episode is a personal story that is in part about the why behind the new direction God is leading me in. One that's really personal but also deeply aligned with the women I'm called to serve. So today I want to take a pause from typical teaching and share with you what's been going on in my world and how it's reshaped not only the way I see health and healing, but how I feel called to lead and serve going forward. Are you a busy woman in leadership who feels pulled in 1,000 directions? Do you wrestle with perfectionism, people-pleasing, or never feeling like you're enough no matter how successful you are on paper? Are you longing for more time, more peace, and more energy to live and lead the way God intended? Sister, you are right where you need to be. Hi, I'm Tanya, a wife, mom, healthcare leader, Christian life coach, and functional health practitioner. I spent decades hustling for my worth through achievement and approval, only to end up burned out and exhausted. But God showed me a better way, a grace-fueled way, and now I help women just like you break free from people-pleasing and overwhelm, lead well, live well, and be well. Here we blend spirit-driven success with practical leadership, wellness, and mindset strategies so that you can multiply your time and impact without sacrificing your health or your family. If you're ready to lead well, live healthier, and finally find the peace and purpose God has waiting for you, you are in the right place. So roll up your sleeves, sister friends. It's time to reclaim your time, restore your joy, and lead from grace. And just as a reminder, the information you hear on this show is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your own health practitioner before you make any changes to your health. Over the past few months, I've watched my husband wrestle with some pretty significant health issues, mostly with his lungs and his breathing, a lingering cough, wheezing, persistent fatigue, and just this overall sense of being worn down in a way that rest and medication haven't fixed. To be honest, it has made him pretty anxious and really discouraged. It's been frustrating, not just for him, but for me too. As a physical therapist with nearly 3 decades in healthcare and leadership, I've walked with hundreds of patients through recovery, pain, and chronic dysfunction. I know how to manage care. I know what to look for. I know what should work. But this is different. Because when it's your person, when it's the person you love, the one you do life with, there's this ache that builds up. And when nothing helps, you start to feel helpless. And in my case, I also started to feel even more convicted. Because if I'm being honest, this health crisis wasn't totally out of the blue. This has been a slow or progressive decline, one that's been masked for years by busy schedules, cough drops, over-the-counter medications, a whole lot of grit and grind, and not enough rest. My husband is a strong man. He's a leader. He's a business owner. He's the kind who doesn't stop. He's the one who people go to when they need answers, when they've got fires to put out, when they need help, when they need something done. But here's the thing. Strong people break too. And for years, I've watched the weight of responsibility, chronic stress, and overwork chip away at his energy, his vitality, and his immune system. And like so many men and women in leadership, he did what we're often told to do. He just powers through. He might reach, or typically does reach, for the quickest fix, whether it's a pill, a supplement, or another just work sprint to distract himself from how he feels. But eventually the body catches up, and these past 2 winters, it did. As a wife, I felt hopeless, but as a woman of faith, and now as a functional health practitioner in training, I started to ask a different question. What if we've been trying to solve the wrong problem? What if his symptoms weren't the real issue, they were just signals? What if his body isn't broken, just burdened? And what if the healing we're looking for doesn't start in the medicine cabinet, but in the way that we live, the way that we eat, the sleep that we get, the stress that we carry, and the support systems we've neglected? He's not the first person in my life that I've witnessed going through different versions of the same thing. People in my life who I love deeply are stressed out and they are sick. They're functional, but sick. Those questions I've been asking about my husband's health have been questions that have been hanging around in regard to other people in my life. And they are what led me to wanting to learn more and develop a functional health practice. Because deep down, I believe what Scripture tells us, that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, that our bodies are designed by God with systems of repair, of renewal, and of balance. And I also believe that those systems can be disrupted, not by a single diagnosis, but by layers of stress, environmental toxins, hormone imbalances, gut dysfunction, and spiritual depletion that we ignore until we can't ignore it anymore. So now I'm leaning in even more. I'm actively studying to become a certified functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, not to chase another credential, but to understand how I can help my husband, my family, and women like you heal in a way that honors God's unique design. Because here's what I've learned. Our bodies aren't broken. They are intelligent. Our symptoms aren't mistakes. They are messengers. And our healing isn't just physical, it's spiritual too. And I want to be a guide who helps others slow down long enough to listen, to investigate, and to rebuild their health with faith and intention, not fear and hustle, and not trial and error. Now, maybe you're not walking through this exact situation, but let me ask you, have you been watching someone you love slowly break down under the weight of stress with no real answers? Have all of the typical tests and lab values been within normal range by traditional medicine standards? Or have they or you been told that you're probably just going to have to deal with this for the rest of your life? Take this pill? Have you felt like you're doing all the right things and still not feeling like yourself? Have you accepted fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, low energy, anxiety, depression as your new normal? If so, I want you to hear this. There is so much more available to you. You do not have to wait for a crisis to start healing. You do not need to wait for permission or for everything to fall apart before you start building a new foundation. And if this episode resonates with you at all, I would love for you to reach out. Send me a message on Instagram or Facebook, join our free community, or email me through my website at gracefilledleader.com/contact. Just say reset or heal and I'll know exactly what you mean. Next week, I'll be unpacking what functional health really is and how it aligns with our faith. Because this isn't just about nutrition or hormones or labs. This is about stewardship. It's about honoring the body God gave us and learning how to support it so it can do what it was designed to do, and that is heal. Until then, take a deep breath. Your story isn't even close to over. Your health is not hopeless, and healing is possible. One faith-filled step at a time. Until next time, lead well, live well, and be well, sister friends. I pray this episode blessed you, spoke to you, or encouraged you in some way. If so, please share it with a friend and head on over to Apple Podcasts to leave me a review. That's the only way for me to know if you're enjoying the show. Nothing blesses me more than to hear from you. Also, come on over to our free Facebook community. This is a great place for us to support one another on our faith and leadership journeys. You can find the link to the group in the show notes or go to gracefilledleader.com/community. If you have questions or content ideas for the show, please send me a message on SpeakPipe or via email. Go to gracefilledleader.com/contact and leave a written or voice recorded message. I would love to know how I can best serve you on the podcast. Now to Him who can do immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3, verse 20. Until next time, my friends, God bless.